A one-time train link between Kyoto and Copenhagen arrived at its destination late Saturday, the 5th of December, close to midnight. Achim Steiner, the executive director of the United Nations Environment Programme, disembarked the train carrying a peculiar object in his hand.
This is called an orb. It has within it a lot of information from tens of millions of people and 12 million signatures that we are carrying with this train today to Copenhagen on behalf of many different organizations and peoples around the world. I trust you with these voices
Achim was welcomed and presented the orb to Luca Friis, Denmark's Minister of Climate and Energy. The Climate Express train has taken a month-long 9,000-kilometer journey, symbolically joining the site of the last global warming pact, with what is hoped to be the birthplace of the next major and stricter treaty to combat climate change. More than 400 climate change negotiators, business leaders, environmental activists and journalists boarded this carbon emissions-free Climate Express train. Launched by the United Nations Environment Programme, the International Union of Railways, and the global conservation organization WWF, the train to Copenhagen rolled across the globe through the wilds of Russian Siberia into Europe as part of the UN Seal the Deal campaign to galvanize political will and push support for reaching a comprehensive global climate agreement at the COP15 meeting that commences this week. The aim of the Climate Express journey is to support and encourage decision makers to deliver a successor to the Kyoto Protocol, which is the first international effort to cut greenhouse gas emissions. Its purpose is to also send out a message that the next generation climate agreement and supporting policies and procedures need to address the transport sector's growing emissions.
Well, in part, we wanted to show what an extraordinary alliance of people, communities, organizations there are in the world. We have the private sector here, we have international NGOs and national NGOs, we have government representatives, the media, and we have the United Nations here. This is an expression of what has driven the preparations for Copenhagen. Secondly, we also want to give a symbolic expression to the fact that we can live in a low carbon economy, and that public transport, railway systems, investing in means of transport that don't force people to go in cars, to sit in traffic jams and to have a high carbon footprint are perfectly feasible. So a train is a perfect symbol for the green economy of tomorrow and how we need to use these technologies that are already available today.
Mr. Obama has just announced he's coming to Copenhagen. What signal does that send? And he said he's coming towards the end of the meeting.
Well, first of all, I think he will be taking the numbers over 100 of heads of state and government coming to Copenhagen, and that means it's one of the biggest summits ever on a major environmental issue. Secondly, his decision to come to Copenhagen at the end signifies, as he has already said, that a deal is possible. And I think this is just underlined again, that in Copenhagen it is feasible to have a deal that is meaningful in terms of climate change action and also international cooperation.
During the journey to Copenhagen, passengers took part in a wide range of activities, ranging from workshops to roundtable discussions on various aspects of sustainable mobility.